Hey, what's up, everyone? Here's the story. This summer, we ran a campaign at our studios in Dubai, and it brought in just under around $30,000. And all of that was for June and July, which are the months of the year when our place is mostly slow. The main thing is that we sold all of this before those months even arrived. So, in this video, I want to walk you through how we built it, how we actually sold it, and the number I think is most important to watch if you ever do this. And I'm going to build the whole thing in Podyx in front of you so you can see exactly how it's done. So here's what it did. It's 29,656, 39 passes sold, and 14 of those 39 people had never recorded with us before, which honestly surprised me. The offer itself was pretty simple, 10 sessions for roughly $20. Session photos included in every single one, and all that had to be used before the end of August. And that last part, the deadline, that's the thing that actually makes this work. Most of the time, this is where we get it wrong. So I'll start there. So most people think it's the discount that makes a pass like this work, right? And it's not. It's the deadline. Think about it. So 10 sessions that expire at the end of August means somebody has to come into my studio 10 times during the period when I'm at my slowest, right? I'm not sitting there hoping they're going to show up in the slow season. They have to, right? You push them by putting the deadline. If I'd given people 12 months to use those sessions, all I would have done is sell next year's work at a discount, right? Same money, worse margin, and my calendar would still be empty in the summer because they would buy before summer and come to the studio after the summer. So the price is what gets their attention, right? But the deadline is what actually does the work for you. Okay, so the second thing, we didn't do this at one offer. We did 3 separate offers, released a few weeks apart, and the price went up every single time. The first one went out quietly to a small group of people who had supported us before. It was never public. That was at around $55 per session. Then the main public release, 10 sessions at approximately $82 a session. And in July, we did a second offer, 5 sessions only this time, at around $104. Now you can look at the shape because most times it happens the opposite. People tend to get nervous when the deadline gets close and they start discounting hard. All that does is teach everybody to just wait for the next one, right? The longer they wait, the better the discount will be. But if you do it this way and you price the commitment, not the calendar, so if they commit to more sessions and decide earlier, they get a better rate. And this is the behavior you want to incentivize. This means nobody who backed us first ended up worse off than somebody who just sat around and waiting. Now, the third thing, and this one is the easiest for you guys to copy, every session on that pass included session photos. Now, for us, that's somebody grabbing a camera that's already sitting in the room and taking 20 shots. It costs us basically nothing. But for a creator, that's a month of content for their social media that they would have had to organize themselves. So it raises the value of what they're getting without adding anything to what it costs me direct. But there's a little test for this, and it has basically 2 parts. This has to be cheap for you, and it has to be something they actually want. So both at the same time. All right, so let me build the whole thing for you now and show you how it's done in Podyx. So if you go to your admin panel, you are going to click bundle plans. In this case, I'm not going to create new. I'm just going to show you the one we created before. But you would click add new and the page would open and you can fill in the details. You can put in the name, put description, what's included, how the pass works, any fine print details that you want to include. You can set the duration of every session that is included in the bundle. What is the linked service? In our case, we included recording plus live mix. Then you're going to add additional service, session photos, put a quantity per session. And then you're going to have the number of sessions. We had 10, and you can put it in discount here. So as you can see, the discount that we provided was almost 57%, which is pretty good deal, right? But because of the session photos that were ended, the perceived value and the perceived difference between the actual value of the session and what they have to pay was much larger, although there was a direct cost for us that was inflating the direct costs, right? You can add the image, any other details, highlight text, offer text, etc., etc. Once you publish it, it's going to be on your homepage of Podyx, but I want to show you what we did at Podster. So we created a section on our homepage of our website. This is our website, as you can see. So if you scroll down, you have a section that says limited time offers. And we created a card that was basically a link to the page of this bundle inside of Podyx, right? So this way you offer them this seamless experience from a special offers page on your website directly to the special offer card within Podyx. They can see all of the details here, read what you've set up. When they click purchase, it will take them to the checkout page and they can fill in the details, put the card, and after the purchase, they will find the bundle on their end profile. So nobody from the team is involved. I'm going to tell you more about how we sold this later on and how we promoted it, but they can completely independently come into Podyx, make the purchase, get sessions on their profile, and basically start booking as they would for a typical booking. So that's how you set it up in Podyx, and that's the core of it, right? And then everything that you built on top of this. I'm going to continue with the rest of the details that are important for you to understand. The build ends up being the easier part with the capabilities of Podyx, but then you need to sell it. And sell it is where most of these campaigns underperform. So I'm going to tell you what we did. For us, email was the main channel, and we supported it with paid retargeting across social medias. It was 5 touches over a few weeks. It was never just one email. Our launch week was the biggest single push we did, and it was still only 11 out of 39 passes. So if you build one of these, send one email, you might decide it didn't work, but you'll be wrong. And then look at the last one. The second offer sold more than the launch did, so 14 against 11, which tells you the second offer isn't some rescue plan you pull out when things go quiet. It's part of the campaign. So design it before you launch the first one, because by the time you actually need it, you won't have the time or the headspace to think it through properly. Okay, so now the number that is most important to watch, and that's the redemption. Right now we're at approximately 65%, and we've got 12 days left. So roughly a third of everything we sold hasn't been used yet. And this is actually interesting when you start unpacking and digging, because it changes what people actually paid. The pass says that one session costs approximately $82. But it's $82 if they record all 10 sessions. If someone comes in and by the deadline uses only 6 out of those sessions, the actual cost of that session is going to be in the range between 130, around $130. So not what they actually paid for, which is $82, right? Our regular price for something like this would be around $140. So that wouldn't make that such a good deal, right? This means that your real price isn't set on the day you launch it. It gets set months later by how many people actually show up. And this is exactly why the window you give people matters more than the discount does. The part that took me a while to actually understand. And when we did this type of campaign a few times before, we got this wrong. So breakage, meaning the sessions people don't end up using, that's margin for you today, but it's actually a cost tomorrow. Because somebody who paid for 10 and used 6 knows they left money on the table. The terms were clear. We didn't hide anything, and they still feel it. And those people don't buy the next one because they feel they were tricked into the offer. So in our case, I'd much rather have the redemption than the breakage. The money from unused sessions is a one-time thing, and it's going to help us generate bigger margins today. But a client who used all 10 sessions and had a great time That's someone that is going to return back for more, which is why right now we're chasing every single outstanding session before the end of the month. And that drives exactly the footfall we built this campaign for in the first place. So, one result I genuinely did not see coming was the acquisition. So 14 out of 39 buyers had never recorded with us before. So every blue dot, there is somebody new, and they came in during the 2 months when getting anybody new is the hardest. So we built this thing as a revenue play. It turned out to be the best acquisition channel we had all summer. One of those people actually upgraded into a $3,000 package. So that's almost a tenth of the entire campaign from one conversation that only happened because the pass got them through the door in the first place. So, four rules if you're going to run one of these. Number one is that the expiry is actually the product. You want to set it so it lands inside the window you're actually trying to fill. So, if you're chasing a summer campaign and your June and July, mid August are slow, you want to cap it mid August. You don't want to sell something in June at a discounted price and let people use it in December or November when it's your big season. Number two, you want to price and reward the commitment. So more sessions, earlier decision, better rate. You never want to punish the people who moved first. Number three is that you want to add things that cost you nothing, but that people genuinely want. And number four, you want to protect your best accounts. So keep corporate and agency out of the cheap lane. So this is one per person, mostly for retail clients and individuals. Otherwise, your highest paying clients will quietly just downgrade themselves. So for most of the studios, the next slow window would probably be second half of December, early January, which means that another campaign of this type would be built throughout October and prepared. But you can also use this same analogy and logic if you want to run campaign in any other part of the year. So what I'll do, I'll come back after our deadline expires and I'll tell you where our redemption actually landed so that we can round up the whole campaign and see what were the results. But if you are thinking about running something like this, please drop a comment and tell me what you're planning. I'd love to hear about it and give you any feedback or share an experience that we had. Good luck.